Hey everyone, welcome to the second Crusade raid video for Krepp. This one will be going over my final team for this boss. It is not the highest scoring team, unfortunately, but it was the best I could figure out with the limited time I had to work on it this week. But I'm pretty happy with where it's at. It gets the boss pretty low and everything works. There doesn't seem to be any volatility with the scores. There is like a slight variance, but it's there's no like small chance to fail basically, right? Or to accidentally kill the boss too early or anything like that. So yeah, let's go over the units that we have. So first off, we got Transcendent Illya. If you watch my previous Crusade videos, I use her very often. She's here for the overcap crit damage to raise the cap. I can show you that later with showing Mel's stats at certain points of the battle. Next, we got Shushu. So Shushu is here because, one, I needed something to be sitting in the front, right? But two, she's here because the armor reduction that she does work on the boss. Now, unfortunately, if you missed out on Shushu, then unfortunately nothing you can do about it. There's no one that does an armor reduction that actually works on bosses, because this one seems to go through the immunity. And it does, like, even though Mel is an anti-armor unit, it still scales some of her damage, right? So if the boss is, not on like super high armor, then it does help with her overkill damage. Then on number 3, we've got Verir here. So Verir is actually technically a anti-resistance unit, but I'm actually using her here because of the fragile debuff, right? And it seems to stack with Kossguard. So, and actually, I did try it without Verir initially. Then I was figuring out ways how can I increase my damage further, because I'm already overcapped on crit damage, with 3 stacks of Illya as well. So I figured I'd try out Verir, and it seemed to do more damage than not using her. So yeah, that's why she's in this one. Of course, Kossguard does crit damage buff, which is not overcap crit damage though, but it helps you reach your crit damage cap a lot easier, and she also does the fragile as well. So as I said, I think they do stack. I'm not sure whether it's multiplicative or additive or whatever. It's probably additive, but I don't know how to like check the numbers for that. But as far as I know, it seems like it works, right? Because both debuffs do show up on the boss's debuff bar. So yeah, that's why these are there. And then we got your like pretty much the best buffers available. So we got Monica, Zhaowu, Ney, and Meria. Right, so Meria is the single target one. Nell will target herself. Ney will target herself, and Zhaowu will then target Ney to splash onto Mel. Right. Of course, the DPS unit of choice for armor bosses is Mel, and we're doing this. It's pretty much like a solo DPS. Technically speaking, Verir is sort of like a secondary DPS, but her damage is not like that high, right? It's mostly just to close the gap as close as possible, and then Mel is going to do the like big overkill damage with her 2 marks that she applies, and then at that point she's also fully crit damage capped, right? So that is the general setup here. So I'll show you the fight, and I'll pause at certain points to show you the stats, right? Because the stats will change based off the buffs going on during each round. And also these 2 are set up so that they will die on round 3 at the start, right? So Illya will get her 3rd buff up, and then the boss will attack them and kill them off, right? I need them to survive to that point so that the boss doesn't attack anyone else. But I needed them to die so that Zhaowu can trigger her EX. Okay, so now we're on round 2. That was the second Illya buff. I actually missed the first round, but the first round, Mel's not fully capped out. She's like max attack, but her crit damage is something like 850%. So nowhere near, or not quite near cap yet, but I will show you on round 2. Okay, so Mel at this point is on 995, so she's not quite at the crit cap, but she's pretty close. And then she's gonna chunk down the boss a fair bit, and then we're gonna have Verir do the like chip damage to like close the gap like closer to as low as possible. Now these two die. Illya has done her job already, right, with the buff or the third buff, and now we've got Zhaowu will trigger her EX. Monica will also trigger her EX, and that will fully cap out Mel at this point. And you'll see here she has 1,150, which means she has 3 Illya stacks, right? Because each stack is 50% for max rank, so that's why she's at this amount of crit damage. Her attack is always capped out, right? Because it's so easy to cap out attack already, and that is her stats there. And she's going to do big damage because she's going to have these two debuffs. Like so, this vengeance is one of the mark abilities, right? And then this black claw mark is the other one, right? So this is the first one she does, and then when they're below 50%, she'll apply the vengeance one. Both of these will reapply themselves or when she attacks and kills the boss. And when she's reapplying them, like the previous instances of the buffs will explode and deal like the damage here, right? So this is not really explained that well, but so it's when it either expires, which is quite a long time, right, for it to expire, or it gets dispelled. But I think what it means by dispel is like when you reapply the vengeance or the mark, it will basically explode the previous version and then reapply the new one, right? So that's sort of how it works. And now we'll show you the end score. And this is the best I could come up with. There's a small variance, but it's not enough to break the run, right? So I have a bit of a leeway so that in case of because there is some like small chances that the Verir will crit in the early turns or not crit. And so that's where the variance will come in. So 3 times that gives me like this score, right? So it's not the best score, but it was the best I could come up with. I'm not sure what the next step to get more damage out of the team is, but I'm pretty happy with it. Second place is not bad, and yeah, that's how I did it. So anyway, that's it for this video. Hope that is insightful to for this boss, and yeah. That's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.